All right. Yeah, we're unmuted. Nice, bro. All right. So that's the I was in here making sure that everything was good to go. But what happened, like what I was going to do was just watch it in my editing software. So that can't happen because some of the file names have been moved or changed. Like everything every year, at the end of every year, what I do is I'll take everything I've done for that year, put it in a folder, put it on a flash drive, and put it on the external and put it somewhere back in one of those drawers behind me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna get that out and root through every single file, every single line that I've ever been sent to find these. So when something happens and I need to bring a reference to it, I'll just switch back over to the editing software. But yeah, look at this shit, man. Like these are this is by no means at all an easy thing to do. And that's fine because like I've said in previous videos when I talk about infested, I try to make it the way that I read it, or I try to have it visualized the way that I read it. And a lot of these are just like white spaces where like a panel shows up and there's dialogue and then it'll cover and it'll cut out and disappear. That's what a lot of this is. These then I have the panel track where like the actual comic is, and I cut that up and zoom and all that neat shit. Then we have the line that's kind of like the background lines, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later as we get further in. But this, oh, this shit. So we have several music lines, and this is all big. We're gonna watch it together. I'm not just gonna be like, hey, this is what this is. We're gonna watch Infested 1 and 2. All right. But these lines, like there are the ambient noises that you hear in the background. There's some music up here, but most of the music tracks are like down here. I try to keep everything in a singular line now because when I was doing this, I was just placing it where it fit on the timeline. It's way more organized than episode 2. Like it's I got a lot more strict with myself about where shit goes. But yeah, let's start this off, and I'm gonna point out some Easter eggs. So if y'all got questions or comments, feel free to type those in the chat, and I'll just be going over this like step by step, flipping between YouTube and my editing software. I'm falling. This is
No.
That's David, by the way, the Sonic and everything like ever that I do. Go follow him. See Titan Lost. Go follow that guy. He's a good friend, good homie of mine. He always cooks whenever we do these dubs. Maria, you have to let me out. I can't protect you from inside here, please. Completely improv line, by the way. Like, that does not exist on that panel. Like, it's just straight up cut. So, if I go back here, because I made a teaser out of it and I just put that in. But if we go to the panel, let's actually go to the fucking panel. Yeah, that doesn't exist. That dialogue does not exist on this panel. That's what the panel looks like. It's nothing there. I improved something so I could have something for a teaser, and I threw that up, and I liked it so much. Flighty liked it that I just put it in the fucking video, in the final product. The last scene, man, it's such a good song. This is what you wanted, right? This is my promise I made to you. And with this one, this scene is that's really simple. It's just a blur effect over the panel. So like I cut the panel out. I applied a blur effect. I think it's blur and zoom effect actually. So like it's a blur effect and then it zooms out while that's going on. Kind of let you know that this isn't like the canon that we're used to. This is not the franchise. This is not the franchise canon. Something's definitely different, and then it pulls back pulls back into Shadow. Shadow looking at himself, asking what the fuck's going on. What? Again, something else that I added in there. Um so what it's leading up to is this panel, but when I was editing it, get I couldn't get the letters cut out the way I wanted to without removing the background. And when I removed the background, because some of the colors blend together because of the ambient lighting, it would remove the outline around the letters. So what I did was got the font that I found the closest to this one, and I just typed it out. I typed out each individual part of the alien language, the Egar, Data Shore Ghoul, Zorm, right? Did I say that right? Egar Shore Ghoul, Data Shore Zorm. Yeah, that. And put those in there and applied chromatic aberration and made it shake. So that's why it looks like that. Kind of similar to how it looks in the panel. And I thought that was a neat touch. I'm gonna be honest. If I had to redo anything about this particular scene, I wouldn't make it last this long. Cause like this is, let me zoom in on the timeline. It ends at like 125 and it starts at 45 seconds. That is an incredibly long time. The idea behind it was to kind of like build into the scene, but I don't think I would have made it last that's like 40 seconds. I don't think I would have made it last that long. I probably would have cut it down to like 25, maybe even 20, depending. But I feel like it goes on a little bit long. Like in retrospect, I feel like it goes on a little bit longer than it should. Got the heartbeats in the background. Real tense situations. I also did that voice. That's just the Black Doom voice that I do because I didn't know who was talking. Until I joined Flighty's Infested Discord. Quick plug, go join that. Flighty Alrighty on Twitter. The Ko-Fi and the Discord are linked in her bio. Go join those. But yeah, so I just did a Black Doom voice, kind of make it a little ominous. That's, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have made this last this long. All right, I like this for a lot of reasons. So the background music that you're hearing is from Tekken 6, from It's Sacred Dark. It's from the Azazel boss fight. And I thought it really fit well because it has like, built-in chants and ominous music and shit. But the part that you're hearing, the voices, where is it? That's the scream. Yeah, the voices that you're hearing are from the song Grace and Glory. It's the final boss theme for Jet Set Radio. Like those whispers, I just looped them. Like I just cut it out. I cut it out of the song and just made it repeat itself. Hold on, I'll go to it. And it's coming up right here. I just thought it would be like a nice ambient touch. Something's fucked up. Something's fucked up. He's hearing voices. Why not add more voices? But yeah, those are the two little Easter eggs. Like nobody commented on that, and I don't know if people, because Jet Set's an old game, right? Jet Set Radio is 25 years old. It's like most people that watch this might not have even played the game, let alone remembered the OST. Shout out to the autism. I can't forget a song that I've heard ever. And that's why these videos are scored the way that they are. I've gotten dozens of compliments on how I score my dubs, and that's because I hear a song, I remember the song, and I'm like, okay, cool. I think this would fit here. That's why a lot of the music in episode 2 is from different franchises. I think there's only I think this part right here and the music that I use for the intro are the only songs in this video that aren't from the Sonic franchise. Like that's it. Everything else comes from the Sonic franchise in this first video. What up, Trey? Shout out Trey. Trey Shells 290. Go follow my man's. Fuck him though. He's an ape. But yeah, like that's how I am with music, dude. Like I hear a song and I remember the song. It doesn't matter how old it is, how long ago I heard it. I remember the shit. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That part from Grace and Glory would definitely fit right here, even if it's only for 20 seconds. It adds to the performance, to the piece, to the art. This man said, make a beat so I can dish you. I got you, bro. Give me some time. Oh yeah, and then right here, like you hear like a little wind whistling, like that's because he's falling from Earth, or falling to Earth. Quick little transition, little down roll transition.
There he is. Shadow.
Shout out Rihanna, man. Like she cooks as Rouge, bro. Like she's so good. She's so fucking good. Rihanna De Leon VA. Follow her. I think her name on YouTube is Rain stands for Rainbow. REIN. Rain stands for Rainbow. Go follow her. Show her some support. Tell her I sent you. And David's here. Hop on. No, David, I can't hop on. I'm gonna hop on Rivals. I lied. I'm definitely gonna hop on Rivals, but I gotta make my spaghetti first. I'm making spaghetti and meatballs today. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. All right, I gave you your shout out. I told the people to follow you. Go follow you. Go follow him again.
Shadow, can you hear me?
Gaia below. What is that?
And then again, the guy below is that's my homie Musa, Sync the Hero. He has a YouTube and a Twitch. Go follow him too.
Whatever it is, it's dead. Maybe Agent Shadow took it out. It was probably the thing that was messing with our equipment.
Focus. We need to get Shadow back to HQ's medbay. Stat. He looks hurt. Hang in there, Shadow. You're gonna be okay.
Huge Tekken fan, so obviously like those soundtracks were gonna be there, and it's gonna happen again later on. Like I've been reading the comic, and like I pay for her Ko-Fi, so like I'm all the way up, like way further than the story that's been drawn, and I already know which songs I'm gonna use for scenes. So like Tekken music is gonna be a staple in this fucking series. Sure. Cool. That part, I debated with myself for longer than I'd like to admit on whether or not to put a filter over that, because it's blurred, right? It's blurred in the panel. I didn't do that. That's just how the panel's drawn, and I thought it was something up at first, and I was like, oh no, that's just how it looks. So like when I recorded, or when she sent in the line, I cut hers out, put a underwater sound effect on it. Gotta make it sound like she's like because Shadow's fading in and out of consciousness, so everything that he hears would also be fading out as he goes unconscious. So I just thought that would make the most sense to do it that way. Data. Sure. Zorm. And then the title card. This is the tamed down version of the title card, because the one before needed an epilepsy warning. Jesus. Like there were so many flashes and like cuts. It was crazy. And I sent it to Flighty. I was like, yo, do you have any notes? Do you have anything that you would suggest? She was like, I love it. Just tone down the flashing because some people have epilepsy. I was like, you're absolutely fucking right. But the intro song for the first two episodes was Volcanic Bomb from Tekken 8. And that's the stage, I think it's called Into the Stratosphere in the game. But like that part, I was like, that sounds like horror music. Let me just throw that in there. And it comes like a minute into the fucking song. Yeah, like 46 seconds into the song. And I was just like, again, the autism, right? So I'm like, hey, what would make a good intro cut? Let me just get like the first couple of seconds of Volcanic Bomb and then cut it. And that's where I cut it and like threw in the cinematic fucking stinger. because the song just, it swells after that. It goes back to playing more music and it gets really techno. It gets really EDM. Anyway, let's move on. Continue watching. Sometime earlier.
Be cautious.
Shout out Base God Dio. He's playing Abraham Tower. Shout out my nigga Dio. Go follow him, support him too.
We don't know what's in there. Anything could be causing our tech to go haywire. Here are the coordinates.
Guess we should thank Sonic.
Sound design was another thing that like I learned doing this fucking franchise, like Foley sounds and just like making my own. That's also how I discovered the Splice website. They have so many good fucking sound effects on there, and you can upload your own too. But man, that shit came in clutch. And it's just like little shit that I wanted to add. It's like I didn't have to add him handing him the fucking paper, but you know, immersion and whatnot.
Tech to go haywire. Here are the coordinates.
Guess we should thank Sonic and Eggman for their latest spat. That tremor of theirs gave us a...
I'm watching this and I could tell that I was still learning shit, because now I would have just cut the panel. I wouldn't have masked this side of it. I would have just straight up cut from here over and then just have Shadow's next line show up. But like I blurred the bubble, or I blurred the text, and then I just masked half of the fucking panel.
New cave to explore. And a new cave means new gems all...
We won't let you down, Commander.
You never do. Good luck, Agent Shadow.
This right here, I am so proud of like how I managed to do this scene, because you wouldn't fucking notice, right? Hold on, I could probably get a better view of it like in the software, but like for Abraham's body, again, before I learned like how to properly cut panels, editing this panel took like an hour by itself, because I had to find the perfect shapes to mask around him, because in this part of the panel, it's still showing the ceiling. So like I had to find triangles, trapezoids to cover it. I think this is like 6 or 7 layers on its own, just covering up the background behind him. Because if I delete it, and it's just all the old, that's how the panel's drawn. That's how it looks. So I'm gonna add those back for posterity. But yeah, that part took mad long, bro. That shit took OD long. I don't care. I'm proud of it because y'all niggas didn't notice. Again, footsteps. It's all about the immersion, man. The footsteps, and then like having each thing shake on when Omega steps in. And again, I would have cut the sound effects out now. Now that I'm where I am, I would have cut these out. Probably like focus the shot here and then just had these pop up. But you know, we live and learn. So for this part, like each time he takes a step, I have a shake effect to match the sound effect. I had to sync that up. And it's just, this is why I'm watching the video, because like the lines and the sound effects have been renamed, so they're gone now. Fuck. Fuck. I just thought that would be a fun thing to do. And here, this is the panel where I was like, I can actually just cut that out. And I cut it out.
I hope you do not have any fun without me on your mission.
I also
No fun at all.
voiced Omega in the first episode.
I hope you are so bored without me.
Something tells me you'd hate this one, Tin Man. A recon mission in a tight enclosed space looking for something that...
Don't know if all we've waited as the... That part is still funny as fuck to me, dog. I just put like 30 different Windows error message effects, sound effects over
And
each
I
other.
go space looking for something that makes tech go nuts? Kinda not your thing.
Strategic benching acknowledged. This unit will await your return. And on a real
Again, same thing, just timing it with the stomps.
rain glorious fire and fury on our enemies.
We'll miss you too, Omega. Be good.
Northern region of Sumerica. This was the part where I was starting to get a little bit flexual, and I was like, hold on, let me cut this. Let me cut this car panel out and just bring this shit down the screen. And then as soon as it leaves, we'll flip over to a view of the inside of the car. I found a video that had like somebody on a drive, and I took the audio from that, and that's what I used for them being in the car. And I just added like some shakes. I just added ambient shakes. Real car ride.
Now, remember, something's messing up our tech over there. So if you need to call for backup,
Musa again.
got short.
Turn it off. Yeah, I was fucking feeling it, bro. Door closing noises. Could have completely just left that shit out. Gotta match. It has to be how I see it when I read it. It has to be that way. There are no exceptions. It has to be that way.
How's it looking, Shadow? Shadow?
Do you hear the vocal effects because they're talking into a cave? Again, another cinematic masterpiece. Cinematic masterpiece decision. Where is it? Where is it? That's the turn it off part. But yeah, like, so for this part, it wasn't initially gonna have that echo behind it. I don't even know if it'll play because the lines have been moved and renamed.
How's it looking, Shadow?
Yeah.
Shadow?
And then my lines are just fucking gone. But yeah, like that's initially it was just gonna be like regular talking. It was gonna be like our regular voices, and I was like, no, wait, they're in a fucking cave. It has to have some type of an echo behind it.
There's cave paintings here.
And then Shadow's deeper in the cave, so his has more of an echo, but like it's not like when they're in the inside of the cave, it's like a wide open area, so it'd be like super echoey, but this is kind of like a enclosed cave, but the ceiling's still high, so that's why there's an echo on it, but it's not crazy.
This cave isn't new, it's ancient. Long buried until the quake unearthed it.
So what you're saying is,
And then we're back outside, so Rouge's voice doesn't have the echo. It's the little shit. It's the little shit.
definitely gonna find an ancient angry ghost in.
Footsteps. I'm big on that shit. I have to find matching footsteps for whenever somebody's moving on whatever material. I have a folder of just footsteps, of just footsteps, of just footsteps. There are even more in here that I didn't move, but still, I could just go into the search bar, type footsteps. It'll bring up every type of footstep sound that I have. So there's that.
There.
I suppose that's a possibility.
Joking, Shad. I was making a joke.
Now we're in the cave, and you hear the drips, and the footsteps have changed again. That is the gravel. That's the gravel footsteps. You will also notice that the stars in the background change. That was an intentional decision as well to match whatever the scene is. So when we're here, when we're in, I think the only one that it doesn't match is like when they're in the base, and I made that green because, you know, military green. But every other scene that they're in, they match whatever's going on in the background. Like when it's Omega, it's just straight up white because he's standing under the halogen bulbs. When they're traveling through Sumerica, they're orange because the sun is setting in the background and it's orange. It matches that. When they're here, they're talking about they arrive in foliage. So I was just like, yeah, that's got to be, you know, kind of a darker green than the original one was. And then when in the cave, like a lot of the hues are blue or like darker gray. So like the dark blue matches those as well. That was an aesthetic choice. Like the stars is kind of a brand thing. That's just what I do. But this was an aesthetic choice, and it was very intentional. And it shows up again in part 2. And I'll explain why it shows up less in part 2 when we get to part 2. But this is a very intentional thing. Like I think I had that conversation with one person. Like everybody else, just like the editing and the voice acting and the story itself was where they were focused. But like the little shit like this, I've had maybe like 2 or 3 of these conversations. Maybe.
Got any idea what we'll find in here?
Perhaps the doctor's involved. He's taken an interest in EMPs lately.
Yeah, and now we're in the cave, so there's hella echo. Little water drips, little ambient cave noises.
Yeah, see, I don't think Eggman's gonna just run into a new cave and chuck an EMP in. Plus, he got his butt kicked recently, remember? He's not gonna be active.
That's a lot of what up, Billy? It's a lot of walking. It is.
Not everything involves
It's a big cave.
Eggman. You should know.
Enough already. Why didn't you grab any flash?
Oh, that part. Like
The Ken for a while.
Suppose not. Why didn't you grab any flash? Already.
that what this panel was just, it was drawn next to the panel that you just saw last, and I was like, you know, it doesn't serve a purpose other than like scene dressing. But I was just like, you know, I could cut that out and nobody would miss it, but I want to use everything. So like I just threw it up there kind of like to add a little bit of ambience. It also masks well as a scene transition. So like shout out this painting of a bull. Shout out the bull cave painting. Shout out Flighty. It's just a really good transition.
Not everything involves Eggman. You should know.
Enough already. Why didn't you grab any flashlights before we left?
That. Don't need it.
Or any rope.
Again. That.
Again, flexing the fact that I had learned how to fucking properly cut and keyframe. This pure swag. I'm not even gonna front. Pure fucking swag. Did not have to do this. Did it anyway. Look at this shit, man.
That. Don't need him.
From
Or any rope?
so like the regular panel is just this. It's just this. So like they're moving obviously. So I added some shake on it. I also added the it's a dirt pouring sound effect that I got from Splice. And it's, you know, it just sounds like he's grinding down rocks. So I threw it in there. I added Rouge's wings flapping again. It's just there's a lot of auditory editing that goes on. And it's immersion, but I just try to make it how I see it. That's always been the goal with every dub, but especially Infested. I want to give y'all what I see when I read this comic, and that's what these dubs are. But yeah, so we got wing flaps, the dirt pouring, and then if we go up to the top panel, keyframing right there. I don't think I had to mask any dialogue because it was moving, and that shit would have been a bitch to edit. But I was editing these. I think the first part I was editing a page at a time, and it wasn't until episode 2 that I was like, yeah, I could do 2 of these at a time. So like I would do one, I would spend hours, like legit. Each page of this when I first started out took minimum an hour. Like I was not getting anything done in less than an hour with episode 1. So like every page that you see is at least 3 hours of work, at least. Cause I'm a guy, right? Like I don't do this full time, bro. I work a regular job. I have a house. I have a family of dogs. Like it took a while, but like production definitely kicked up for season 2 because I had learned things. I'd learned how to do things faster. I had a more clear idea. I did some preparatory work, like cut panels ahead of time It was much improved on the editing side.
And that. Don't need them.
Made you a Lunchables pizzas. You grinded for materials in FF15. Feels like I'm hanging with the homie. You are hanging with the homie, man. I just appreciate y'all coming to the streams. Yeah.
J.
That, I'm not gonna lie, that was pure luck. Like, listen, that water drop and the panel popping up at the same time was pure coincidence. I did not plan that. I keep it honest with y'all on this channel. It worked out and I left it in. That's what she said. But it worked out and I left it in because it was like, oh man, that syncs up perfectly. I'm not gonna change shit.
J.
No, we're not doing this again.
Doing what?
Fjord is a banned word.
And now that I'm watching it again, I probably would have made like a ruffling sound for him getting the water off his head. But, you know, again, live and learn. I don't think no loss, no gain.
Now choose a different letter.
Hey, there's totally other words that start with FJ. You just need to believe.
I want to give a shout out to Flighty, man. I love how Flighty draws expressions. Like, she's really good at that shit.
Believe in yourself.
Even without the dialogue, you can completely understand what's going on. That shit is phenomenal.
You ultimate baby.
Put a pin in this. Put a pin in the FU. That's going to come up later.
I'd prefer a fair game. That's all.
Would you just hurry up and pick a...
And then like the subtle, bro, I'm so fucking good. Like, so you see the stars, right? As soon as the transition happened, during the transition, I also made the star color transition with the panel because now there's a green glow given off by what they're about to discover next. So the panel has to match the stars. Brother, I told you niggas, I am dedicated to the craft of consistency. I am dedicated to that shit. Lifelong subscriber, first time caller. Like it's fucking, man.
Would you just
Man.
hurry up and pick a letter already? It's been like an hour.
It's been 5 minutes.
Gonna immediately shoot myself in the foot by saying, what the fuck is this? Why did I leave a speech bubble in the bottom? No excuses. No excuses.
I'm going over options in my head, figuring an effective strategy in order to defeat you.
With 2 letters, F and U? Come on, Shadow. You're overthinking this. It's just a game.
A
Game I intend to win.
Now stop rushing me while I'm trying to think.
Stop rushing. You... Oh, you're one to talk.
Oh yeah, the fucking damn dude, I hadn't really talked about any of the song choices. This is Tricky Maze from Sonic Adventure 1. Again, we're in South America in a cave, so it just makes sense.
Talk, you impatient.
Wait,
I've been waiting.
hold on.
What are you trying to... Oh, what?
This is Intruder from SA2. Again, I would have, knowing what I know now and having the skills I have now, I would have cut these panels in Photoshop instead of cropping them in the editing software. I don't think it looks bad necessarily, but I know now, knowing what I know, I could have done things differently.
Oh. What are the...
That sound you're hearing is a Foley sound for Mealworm Queen, I believe it was. Got that from Splice too. Shout out Splice, bro. Like they have a lot of the sound effects I use are either sound effects that I've gotten from Splice or sound effects that I've just made shorthand. But I'd say like a solid 70% of them, like footsteps. I'm not going to go out there and record footsteps on 30 different types of material. Fuck that shit. So like I just downloaded a pack, but like the vast majority of them came from Splice. If you don't have a Splice account, like as a creator, make a fucking Splice account. Fantastic fucking sound effects. It's like, I think the basic one is like $8 a month. If you go advanced, it's like $12. That's the one I got. Because you get like I think it's 150 free downloads every month with the $12 plan. And I just been stacking those credits. I got like 600 now.
Those... They don't look natural.
I disagree. They do look natural. Natural for a hive.
Like... These are cells? But what could make cells out of solid rock? They're huge too.
Whatever's
Cavity! If you just got here, you've missed about 7 minutes. I'm going through episode 2 as well, so like don't worry. Plus the VOD will be up. I think, how long does YouTube take to throw up a VOD of a stream? Isn't it like 6 hours or some shit? 6 or 12 hours? The VOD will be up by tomorrow. So if you do want to go back and catch what you missed, it'll be there. But yeah, I just 7 minutes. Like I'm going back and forth between the video and then the editing software kind of pointing out how things happen. Again, this is a situation where I would have just cut the panel entirely instead of like masking this side. But it works out. Like I'm not upset. Like, I don't think I did a bad job on anything. It's just like shit that I would have done differently now that I have the knowledge and experience. But like I wouldn't change anything for real, except for like what we talked about at the beginning, where I was making shit last too long. I would definitely change that shit
as well. Let's be on our guard in that case.
Glass cracking sound. I've had that one for years. It's like I actually just went out there, put a screwdriver to a glass, recorded it.
Eye out for anything.
Shadow, the ground.
That sound effect is the rumbling sound effect from Sonic 1. I guess you could say the classic Sonic games, but like it's definitely first appearance was in Sonic 1. That is look
Shadow,
at it.
The ground.
Yeah, that's the sound effect, the breaking sound effect from Sonic 1. I almost said SA1 from Sonic 1. I like to throw in little references here and there.
Shadow.
Definitely would have done a different scream. Holy shit. Definitely would have done a different fucking scream. Holy shit. I forgot how calm it was. Also that when it breaks, the crumble sound effect is also from classic Sonics.
Shadow.
And the remix that you're hearing is from Sonic Advance 2. It's Egg Frog, the final boss. Shout out Silent Dreams and Techno Cinema. They remix a lot of songs, but they do really good Sonic songs. They've done a lot of the Advance series as well. So shout out them. That's how I found them. I was like, let me go look up some Sonic Advance remixes. See if anybody's brought those songs into the modern era. Yeah, yes, Cavity Arc. This is how I edit the videos. Like, so I'm going back through rewatching them with y'all and then showing y'all the behind the scenes of each scene, pointing out some Easter eggs and things like that. But I'm checking chat so I can, talk to y'all whenever y'all do put some shit up.
Shadow.
It's David. It's David. My mans was so fucking excited to be a part of this. It was so exciting. I was like, David, you got like 2 scenes, not even scenes, 2 fucking panels in the first episode. He didn't care. He was lit. He was excited. Shout out David, man. Shout out Titan Lost in the chat. Love that guy.
Shake it off. Come on. Gotta slow my fall. What? Why won't they? Even my shoes won't working?
Perish. Split his shit. Again, I don't.
Working?
I did. Okay, I put the falling sound of the wind falling sound effect back in for the cave. These sounds, man, horror movie pack sound. Shout out Splice again, because like some of this shit is just visceral. And I had to put that in there. Had to make it sound gross. Definitely upped it in episode 2 as well.
Are you okay? Shadow? Shadow? Can you hear me?
This is, believe it or not, this is just a long transition. Like I didn't keyframe any of this. I think it's called cinematic opening. Is what the transition is. I can go look and see. I think it's called cinematic opening for that transition, but like it just focuses on Shadow for that shot and then pans out into the beheaded skeletons of whatever the fuck was down there. You know, really capitalize on that sense of the unknown type shit. That, yeah, there it is. It swipes over and then it just lasts. It just goes. And anybody that was anybody that was on the internet in 2012 knows about this. Everybody. And then the music again, because I'm a huge music fan, have to list every single song in order. Music fan, have to list every single song in order. But yeah, so like a lot of SA2, Tekken 6, Tekken 8, some Heroes, Adventure 1. Yeah. And then go support Flighty, because we always given the proper credit. Man, it's nice to see that again. Nice to see episode 1 again. I haven't seen it in literal months. But man, just coming from that to episode 2, fucking world of difference. Now I gotta open that shit up. So yeah, there shouldn't be any questions because I mean niggas have seen the video and I'm explaining every part of the fucking video. So like there shouldn't be any questions, but does anybody have any fucking questions? Any emotional outbursts that they want to share? Yeah, look at this shit. All of these sounds that I put in here and then renamed for organizational purposes just don't show up. And I love y'all, but I'm not finna go look for those and then rename them to their original file name just so I can do this part. We will be okay. So episode 2, I think episode 2 was 3 or 4 minutes longer than episode 1 was. And again, no slouching on the edits is allowed on my part. So what you're looking at right now is just the sound. This is just the sound portion of it. And you can see some names of the songs. It doesn't matter. I'll explain to them anyway. But these are just like voice lines, music, sound effects. I'm trying to think. Like I had but yeah, there's a dedicated line for music. That was the big change for this one. So all of this is music. All of this on line 1 is sound effects. I believe all of line 2 is voice line. Yeah, all of line 2 is voice lines. So that shouldn't be too different. And then everything else that I needed space for, like if I had like an extra sound effect that I wanted to layer under something, went to 5 or 6. It was way more fucking organized than episode 1 was from an editing standpoint. And then of course, you know, we see the panels, we see the return of the stars. And then just the purple. When you see purple, that's usually like a speech bubble that I had to mask. Sometimes there's white spaces to kind of mask other things. I didn't abandon masking entirely because there were some situations where I felt like it fit. But for the most part, a lot more panels got cut in episode 2, and it's the same case for episode 3. So spoiler alert for episode 3, almost every panel in episode 3 is cut or separated from its original panel. That shit, I did one stream for it, but like I could have done 4 or 5 more because I did like a page a day where I would just go out and cut shit just to make it easier for myself. All right, so without further ado for episode 2, I'm gonna place the tracker back at the beginning and we'll start this one.
Shadow? I can smell his blood down.
Immediately, Kronos Island, 7th movement. Fantastic song. Definitely fits the scenario. We got a scared Rouge in the cave. Stars are gone. I removed them. It's kind of like, so like my rationale behind the stars in this episode was they were present in every scene except the last one in episode 1. So I was like, okay, this is a horror AU. There can't be stars every time. So I need a way to differentiate when shit's like bad or potentially bad from when it's from when it's like, you know, good or chill. And like removing the stars is kind of like removing the safety net. So like you see the scene, but there's no stars. So you know shit's fucked. And that was why like they aren't any in this scene, because it picks up off from where there weren't any in the last scene in episode 1. So again, consistency reasons. But also to like signify to the viewer, hey, this ain't your normal fucking scene.
Down there. Lots of it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it to hell.
And Rihanna just giving a fucking master class of a performance.
The hole's too narrow.
But yeah, see the panels are cut now. They're cut. They aren't just cropped and zoomed in on. They are cut.
If I just brought rope, I could get him out easily. If I brought a flashlight, he would have seen the floor cells and know not to step on them. And then he wouldn't be down there at all. He wouldn't be.
I pay for high. I was wondering why that shit looked. Did it look blurry to y'all on y'all's end? I caught it. I caught that shit like when I saw this panel come up. I was like, why the fuck does that shit look blurry? Hey, Mediacom. I pay for gigabit internet. Put my shit on at least 720. I'm streaming, so I'm not gonna run it at full 1080 because I don't have a power line adapter plugged into my PC. I'll be getting one of those next weekend. But I'm running at 720p, 60 frames a second. I think we can all agree that that's fine.
Stupid Rouge, you're so stupid, so goddamn stupid. Wait, no, I can't do this right now. Shadow survived way worse falls. Well, one anyway. No way he's gone. Can't waste it.
Also, huge JoJo's fan. If you didn't know, you should. It's in the name. Spoke Joestar. But that song is Jonathan's theme from part 1 of JoJo's. I felt like it's a very triumphant theme. And that's just the beginning. Like that's how the song starts. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? She's overcoming her fear. Yeah, let's give her some resolve. Let's give her a resolute theme.
Any more time.
I like this edit that's coming up too as well.
Katakon extraction team.
Again, just me flexing what I'd learned. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I cut the panel. I put the panel in there, and I can put effects on that panel itself and isolate it. So the effect is just glitch stripes. That's all it is. We got the basic bubbles to mask the dialogue until I need it to come in. It's a me thing. I don't like having the entire speech bubble exposed at all times because I feel like it kind of ruins it ruins two things. The first being any types of revelations that happen in the story of whatever dub I'm doing. The second is the attention span. So like if I cover this, or if I leave this uncovered and I cover these two, you obviously know that something's coming, but you don't know what's about to be said or what's about to happen, what's about to get cut off. So it's kind of a thing that I do for myself, but also to keep people engaged. Cause I'm like, I don't want to see I don't want to see the bottom line like right over here when this is what's being said. That fucked me up a little bit. But it's just a glitch effect. It's just glitch stripes over here to my effect. Yeah, just glitch stripes. Glitch stripe 2 and a little shake on it for that immersion. For that immersion.
He's gone. Can't waste any more time. Katakon extraction team. Right. Not in this cave, I can't. You're gonna be okay, Shed. I'll get you out of that hole soon. Just
then again, just her flying out of the cave.
try bleeding slower in the meantime.
Title card! Makes sense. Yeah, I think it does too. Because like I feel like people would just like read it and then just sit there until the next thing comes up and then read that. No, pay attention. Pay attention, pussy. What am I gonna say? Yeah, so this one, there's actually a transition. So what I had to do for this one was cut that panel a couple of times and then put a transition in between each cut. So like the cut is just a slow blink, and then I added the wavering effect because dude's just had his fucking skull cracked. So obviously shit's gonna be a little bit woozy, right? but again, I debated on just having the blink, but I was like, nah, there needs to be some type of movement. Because if you've ever been concussed or disoriented, and trust me, I have. I played football and I took martial arts for 8 years. If you've ever been like concussed or stunned, shit does not stay still and it is not clear. It's a very scary moment to have to try to realign your fucking ocular receptors so you can get some grounding. That sound effect makes it sound like he's pissing blood, but like it's actually just leaking. I didn't have a better one to put over it. And I don't think there is a better one to put over it. It's running blood. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Felt weird.
That song is Preparation for Ritual from Shadow the Hedgehog.
Move forward. Complete the mission. Keep moving. Just all these bodies.
And then this just tension in the area. Blur effect. There's a blur effect in like the opening scene of both episodes. Fun.
Bend here.
Just notice.
No. Gotta stay focused. Gotta be close.
Also, I really think this was like, I think my performance in this one is better than it was in the first one. I'm gonna just straight up say it. Like I don't think I gave a bad performance in the first one, but like there is, to me anyway, to my ears, there is a marked difference between episodes 1 and 2 as Shadow. For this, I'll go back once the whole scene's done. So for the opening part of that scene,
Gotta be close.
this is just one panel that I took and keyframed out. So I did that for y'all. I'm gonna see, that's the blur effect. Yeah, 119. So that is how that scene looks. Excuse me. That's how that scene looks on the page. Like he's walking here, he stumbles here, and I tried to edit it to like make it line up with the way the panels look. So I just had him walk. I was like, yeah, he's walking. I just had him walk, struggle a little bit because, we love some shadow trauma. But I had him walk, struggle a little bit. He falls in the same place. He tries to get back up in the same place. But I wanted to do something with that.
Gotta keep moving. Stay awake. Wait.
And then this isn't even a song. It's just a droning sound effect.
What the hell is that?
And for this, I really like how this turned out too, because it was going to cave and the jewels and everything, or the crystals. And I was like, how could I step this up a little bit? So I just put I put a light leak filter over it and made it match the background colors. Because normally when you put a light leak filter, it'll, in this software anyway, it's either canned colors, a solid color, or you can match it to the background. So what I had to do to match it to the background was apply the first one, because that's the only one that's like multicolor. It's canned multicolor. And then I applied a mask to it, so what it would read would just be all of the colors of the crystals. And that's how that came. That's how that came about. So like you get a little lens flare like that. Like it's a small scene. The crystals aren't even in the fucking shot for more than like 15 seconds. but I had to do it. Had to do it to him. Plus these panels, like you could tell when I've learned something because it just becomes abundant in the in the dub. So for this panel, that's what these are. I took them, applied sound effects and different visual effects to each panel so it could have its own little personality. Even though they're there for only a short time, like everything does something different. So like we got the little bug over there wiggling. The blood drops, ooze, got a little ripple effect. Dropping, motion blur. I would have cut that better. I still see some white around it. This is my favorite part of the dub, honestly. Like the first like 4.5 minutes it's really good. Like the panels themselves are fucking fantastic. I got to give Flighted credit for that, but like the editing choices, I'm going to glaze myself a little bit. The editing choices here were top notch too. Like, and I just want to walk through each piece of these because I'm about to spurg out. So off the bat, first panel is the song is Nemesis's theme from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Very, very ominous theme, and I think it fit the scene fantastically. The other noise, that sound effect that you hear, is an angry cat hiss. That's what that is. Can I play this? I don't know if I'll be able to play this, but let me see. So let's see if I can find the sound effect. Cat hiss, angry. Oh my god. Because I want to prove a point. Because I want to prove a point. So I want to do it. I'm going to do it this one time. Cat hiss. That's the original sound, right? So I slowed it down to 0.17 or by 0.17 and put a little echo on it. And then that's how you got that effect. I'll do it again. I'm gonna see if I can do it again. Speed 0.17. And then I cut out the last part. Delete that one because it's the old one now. And then effects, audio effects, echo. And then you have to edit it. You have to edit the reverb a certain way. Because if you did it not apply? Yeah, because if you don't, then it'll sound fucking gross. It'll sound disgusting. Right. So for the reverb, I normally do like small 0.1 or sorry 0.5, not 0.5, 0.05, 0.05, and then 10. That's how we do that. But again, I've gotten that good that I could just recreate this shit. Wow. Fuck. God, yeah, that's a cat. That was a cat hiss. Because it's a pile of bugs, so obviously it's not gonna be like this super bassy effect. But I needed something that's like, hey, they're pissed off and there's a bunch of them. Let me find a hiss. I have a snake hiss, but it didn't sound the way that I wanted it to when I was putting it together. So I found a cat hiss. I was like, yeah, I can slow it down, put a reverb on it. It's fine. And then everything shakes because there's motion. Flighty's panels are so fucking good, bro. Like I'm gonna glaze that woman till the death of me, but like her fucking panels are so good. Then for that one, that's just chromatic aberration. There's a whole filter dedicated to that shit. And again, debate the debate of whether or not to leave it still for fear of there being too much going on. But I'm like, bro is literally short circuiting. Fuck that shit. We're gonna add some colors. Then the explosion. I think the explosion is just like like a funneled explosion sound. So it's an explosion in an enclosed area. And then for the transition was just a reverse zoom. The squelch god. Ew, the sound effects. Yeah, man. That sound is again, that's the mealworms, right? So like the mealworm sound effect of them just crawling. Yeah, man, shit's gross. Mealworms, and then the queen hisses.
Ow! What the hell's...
That sound makes me uncomfortable every time I hear it, but it's so good. Sounds like something's getting into his fucking bones.
Ow! What the hell's... Oh no. No.
But you notice there's no stars. There's no stars in any of these because shit's bad.
Oh no.
Again, but I'm gonna let this play out because this is probably my favorite scene across all of chapter 1, both in the comic and the dub. I was debating like cutting each individual part out, but I was like, it would look too messy and kind of take away from like the damn it, what's the word I'm thinking of? The correlation between like having a black background and then having the letters show up in the dark. And I didn't want to do that. So like I left it all there. I added the shake effect on each individual portion of it. So it's not just like, yeah, apply the shake to the panels. Like, no, you go in there. I'd already cut them. So like I cut them, put them back together, like where they go in the fucking frame, and then just applied the shake to everything. So everything kind of moves at its own individual pace. But this scene, man, like I popped off. I popped off on that shit. Like from the droning sound effects to like the heartbeat to the increased panic in the scream to the final scream, like everything about this scene. If I was to make a portfolio, this scene would go in that portfolio as an editor, not even as a VA, as an editor. This scene alone would go into the fucking portfolio. But I'm going to shut the fuck up and we're going to watch it together. Hold on, let me max my volume. I know y'all like to hear some screams. So, yeah, man, let's just start this. Let's run this shit back. Get it from the beginning.
Oh no.
Damn it, sorry. That's also me doing the voice again. It's so good. That shit is so good. Also, there's sound in the background. Again, not a song. It's just it was an alien droning sound effect that I had found on Splice. And then there was the heartbeat, and then there is the reverse crescendo that you hear in a lot of thrillers. And that's kind of what capitalizes that shit right before Zorm is said. Just added effect. I was just popping off, bro. I was floating. I was floating while I was editing that scene, bro. Everything came together the first time I did it. I didn't go back and do anything outside of like debating on like the last panel. Everything else was like I had an idea, I did it, and it worked, and I moved on. God, bro, that shit's so fucking good. That shit is so fucking good.
No.
Watch it again. Oh God, man. Yeah. Like, but and another little tidbit, little lore tidbit. There was a different scream. Like when I initially did that scream, I sent it to David, see Titan Lost, and I was like, let me know what you think. And this motherfucker gaslit me into doing that scream. And he was like, "Oh, I know. I saw your fucking trunks redub. I know you could scream better than that." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right, but I like the way this one sounds." And then I put it in the video, and like in the back of my head, I can just hear his little Jewish voice, just, "Hey, man, I've heard you do better." And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do this. And I went in there and I did like 7 takes of that scream. I did like 7 different takes before I landed on one that I felt was good enough to be in it. And I sent it to him and got his approval. And that's how we ended up with that scream. That's how we got that one. Watch the scenes of this episode. I'll see y'all next year. Oh yeah, the VOD will be up tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow, Cavity. So like if you want to go back and catch anything, it'll be there. Like I'm not deleting this shit. But glad you could stop by, man. Take it easy. Have a good day. Be safe. There's with this scene, yeah. So like this scene was actually the resolution on it was actually big enough to be its own panel. So I just made that shit full screen. Got some hospital noises. See. And then once we're awake and okay, the stars come back. It's everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And remember when I told you to put a pin in the FU game? Like he wakes up and he says C. And that's because you've seen it, so it's not really a spoiler. That's because he lost his memory of anything that happened after or before he fell in that cave. So like from the time they were playing the word game to the time he wakes up, that's all he remembers.
Shadow, you're...
It's your turn.
Okay. Guess I'm taking a letter for this one. Hey, Shadow, you shouldn't be getting out of bed.
I heal.
Fast, I know, but you fell down a hole the size of a small skyscraper. 2 days in the med bay isn't nearly enough.
Song is Sadness from SA1. It's a really good song. One of my favorite songs in the franchise.
Time to recover from that.
Hole.
I want y'all to know that this is a meme in certain circles. Just this frame and Shadow asking hole. If you're over the age of 13, you can understand the context of how that became a meme. But when I was reading this, I sent it to one of my friend groups and I was like, this is going to be a thing. I'm going to make this a meme. And a meme I did. They still share it. They still post it. It's funny. It's a funny panel. It's a funny panel. Out of context. This song is from Tekken 2. It's called Emotionless Passion. That's emotional. No, it's not. I lied. Be in the Mirror is what that song is called. When you first fight Devil Kazuya. That's the song that plays.
I mean, don't you remember?
I told you I hear a song and I can't fucking forget it.
Shattered under you and... Never mind. I'm overthinking. You hit your head pretty hard. Probably messed with your memory. Still, you've gotta stay put. Something could be really
that boy
wrong.
tweaking.
Enough! Did you...
I want to point this out.
Something could be really wrong, Shadow.
Enough!
Y'all know what that's from? Y'all know what that sound is from? That sound effect?
Did you...
I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds in the chat. Somebody out there is a gamer and they know what that's from.
Enough! Did you forget who I... Enough!
Because I went through hella work to isolate it, but nobody's replying. So either nobody heard the question or they don't know. I'm gonna show y'all what it's from. I'm gonna show y'all. No, we're not going to Yapo Tube. That's where it's from. It's another little Easter egg. Yeah, David got it. He got it right. I was like, I want to throw a sound effect in there, but I want to throw something in there from a Sega franchise and see if anybody notices. It's literally the Kiryu desk slam. Literally the Kiryu desk slam.
Still, you've got it stay put. Something could be really wrong, Shadow.
Enough! Did you forget who I am? What I am? You're treating me like a child.
Yeah, for that, I read the line as Shadow and then read it again in the Black Doom voice because he's different now. He has a bug in him. He has a bug in his body, and it's different. I think there's a delay. Yeah, there might be, because I just saw that you said Yakuza. Maybe, might be a delay. I do be streaming on PC sometimes. I don't want to get stream sniped. But that is a little bit of a meme.
Who got hurt. Badly hurt. There was so much blood. Too much.
Again, I would have cut this better because now I'm seeing like there's a little piece of white up there. Gotta get that out of there.
I thought you were dead, Shadow. I thought I killed you.
I apologize. I don't know what came over me, but I shouldn't have taken it out on you.
I do know who you are. I've known you for...
That song is from Shadow the Hedgehog's Recollection of Ark, I believe it. Recollection of the Ark, I think it's called. Or Aboard the Ark, some shit. Sadness, Be in the Mirror. Oh, that's sad ending, son of a bitch. They have similar opening notes. That's why I thought it was Recollection of the Ark.
So I know when something's off. This can't be a normal head injury.
Well, I'm no
Next one is from Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Goat Leashed.
I'm fine.
Cool Edge. Night.
Are you alright?
Peachy. Shad.
Again, shout out to Flighty and her expressions, bro. Like, these shits are top fucking notch.
Even if I wasn't my usual delightful self, would I really need to say so? We're not like Sonic and his posse. We don't have to constantly reaffirm where we stand with each other or ourselves.
I see Omega isn't here. Did he visit at all?
Well, he sure tried.
The song here, first of all, Musa voices Omega in this and probably for the foreseeable future. But the song uses Armor-Clad Faith from Guilty Gear Strive. It's the theme of Potemkin, who is also a big-ass nigga with an Omega-esque build. And I just thought it would fit. I thought it would fit for humor purposes in this. But like you hear the wood splintering sound effects, the servos moving with Omega. Those are all sound effects that I added. It just every scene with Omega is funny as shit.
Quiet, Shadows.
Preparing to solve entry insufficiency with bombs.
No!
Well, I appreciate his attempt regardless.
I'm sure Tower's not gonna appreciate what he did to the doorway.
So I didn't have to loop it myself. But like while I was looking for the extended version, I found the orchestral fucking version. Who the fuck made it? Malcolm Robinson. Holy shit. That shit is fucking good. That shit was so good, I downloaded it. I had to have that, bro. Like, that shit is phenomenal. It's such a good remix. Go listen to his music.
You're hiding something. For a spy, you're doing a poor job of it.
I don't know. I don't know, Shad.
And it was one of those songs where I constantly have musical debates where I'm like, is this too much for the scene? Or, you know, is it good or is there something that could fit it better? Because truth be told, like when I edit these, with the first episode, I edited all the sound effects and voice lines. Then I put the music in. With this one, I kind of did everything at once. So like when I edited a page, I would do sound effects and music. So like I would just be sitting there for like 20 minutes. Like I like this song, but does this one fit better? Because I also like this one. But ultimately, I ended up leaving the orchestral one in this one because I was going to put the original, but I was like, I don't want it to sound like too chiptune-y because I haven't used anything chiptune-y. And God, bro, Malcolm Robinson came in clutch. He did. This shit is so good.
You're right. I didn't do a good job hiding this. A lot happened, and I'm used to a lot. I mean, you have to be working for Gunn, but this is different. I'm nervous. I don't even know if I can tell you why. Oh no, Shadow. I didn't mean to. Chaos, how do I even begin to explain this? I mean, after you were taken control of a while back by Black Doom, and then later by Black Death.
Black Doom? Black ass Doom, brother. I be forgetting about Black Death, man. I be forgetting about that Nick.
What's this have to do with the black arms?
I shouldn't have said anything.
Rouge.
I really...
Yeah, see, this is what I meant when I was talking about the first episode. I cut it. I just cut the entire speech bubble and panel out. It's doing its own thing. Air of nervousness.
Really shouldn't have said anything.
Don't. Again, did you see it? Did you catch it the first time? You can be honest, we're friends. I know you didn't, but the stars changed.
Don't keep me in the dark. The black arms should all be dead. If there's even a hint of their survival, you can't hide that from me. Rouge, please. We're teammates. We're teammates. We're friends.
You swung at me.
Friends.
You swung at me.
I